My name is Alistair. I'm 23 years old and I'm a chemistry student. I'm Iranian. I was raised in the US. I was there until I was 16 years old. I came here with my mother. I've been here for 7 years now. Yeah. My nationality, a little bit of everything. A little bit Persian, a little bit American, a little bit British, just a mashup. I feel like that's true with a lot of colored people and children of immigrants in Western world countries, that you kind of integrate into that culture while maintaining your own. I'm very deep into the American culture, very deep into the British culture, still keeping up with my Persian one. I don't think you lose your roots just by integrating into a different society. You can still hold on to that. Us being able to integrate comes from a place of understanding and accepting each other's differences and roots, and trying to put those little nuances and little cultural things into that new society for everyone to appreciate. Embracing rather than washing it down. I don't think England's less multicultural. I think the conversation in England is less than the conversation that's happening in the US. The conversation of race and racial relations in particular. Because I feel that different ethnic minority groups and different racial groups are much more segregated in the UK and more into forming their own communities. It's hard to put people together and say, oh, okay, let's just be friends. Because not only is it the color of the skin, it is how their family dynamics are built, how they treat their neighbors, what religious values they uphold. The level of understanding is not there. Okay, let me sit down, let me hear what you got to say. Let me say what I have to say, and let's work it out. Just to open it up, the conversation is progress. You want to support it, but you just don't really know how to, I guess. If you don't really know how to, ask. Ask somebody. Ask a brown or black person. Is this appropriate? Do you find it supportive? How do you feel when I say this? Because it's about them. It is about them. There's so much stuff that you as a white man might not know, the intricacies of the black and brown. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to ask. Rather than just taking a plain initiative and say, okay, I'm going to treat everybody the same. But everybody's not been through the same. Well, just the question is, what is your ethnic background instead of where you're from? Because where you're from could mean anything. Where you're from it's a very weird question to answer to when you're first generation, second generation. When somebody asking me where I'm from, I'm from 3 different places. Which one are you asking? What's your ethnic background? I can say that to you clearly. I don't connect with Bane. It's a very broad group. Asian, what you mean by Asian? Like South Asian? Indians? East Asian? Chinese or Koreans? They're both 2 different continents with 50, 60 countries. And they're just putting everything together and then saying, okay, this is one thing that we need to take care of. And then the whites. This is a very wrong thing to do. It's because you're not really taking everybody's side into consideration. It's too small for everyone. Bang. It's too little. Because they have their own differences. They might not feel like they belong in the same group. Mixed race people being not told you're not black enough, you're not white enough. Immigrants that go back to their own countries and say, okay, you're not us enough. They go back to the Western countries that they live in right now and they say, oh, you're not us enough. I might hear sometimes, you're not Iranian enough. Like, why you acting all kinds of foreign to us? But I'm not really acting nothing, bro. That's just me. That's me. It's a result of me being integrated into a culture, in a different culture, representation is very important. I figured out a lot of this like little stuff that we look at, it really comes from a deep dark place. Like really society was that different and that fucking evil. The black faces and the, you know, the racist Disney cartoon characters and stuff. You put that in front of a child, little 3-year-old, 4-year-old, that could change the whole mentality. That could change the whole the view of the world, because the kid doesn't really know anything. They could learn whatever. I feel like if there were to be more black and brown creatives that could take control of the narrative, to tell the truth, to paint the whole picture, I think that would be very beneficial on both sides. So you get the education from there, and then you get the good representation, the real representation. More understanding and more awareness and more education is the key. Like I said, the conversation is there. The conversation is coming up. Even though certain people are walking away from it, it's there and it's coming, and someday we'll move on from this. It won't be easy, but we'll have to just, you know, move on as a society. If you want to learn, talk to someone that knows a bit more. I'm just a kid, man. I'm 23 years old. I just know what I tell you.